YouTube? It's your girl DeeDee. Welcome back to the channel. So I'm back with another video for you guys. Before we get into the video, make sure you are subscribed to the channel if you like the content. Share and like the video and hit that notification bell to be notified when I upload new content. All right. So I'm back with a video. Now this video is showcasing how women are struggling financially after all these massive layoffs and these federal layoffs and how women are coping during all of this, because a lot of these women are having a hard time trying to navigate their lives after being laid off from jobs. And it's unfortunate, nobody wants to lose their jobs, but I think in a lot of these cases, for some of these women, they didn't think about this possibility. A lot of people think that they have this job security and that it's just going to prevent them from ever losing their jobs. But in reality, this is something that happens all the time. You have to make sure that you have something put aside for a rainy day, and you just don't spend your money all willy-nilly because you may need it just in case of a layoff. I think a lot of men understand this because they have to be responsible for more and potential families. And so they move a little bit wiser, in my opinion, with their funds versus a lot of women. And so it's just interesting to see how all this plays out. But I'm going to play this video compilation and I want you guys to let me know what y'all think in the comments. Do you think that women factor in the idea that they may lose their jobs, or they're more concerned, not as concerned with it because they think that their jobs are more secure? Let me know in the comments. I definitely want to hear from y'all, but let's go ahead and get into the video. Here we go.
So I just got laid off on a random Wednesday from my job of over 2 years, and it's okay. I had honestly been looking for other roles. Funny enough, this morning actually, I had a Zoom with a company that I had 3 interviews with, and they wanted to Zoom me with an update. And I thought, oh, this could be an offer, right? Why would they reject me over a video call? So lo and behold, it was a rejection over video call, and they made sure to tell me that it was super, super close between me and one other person, and for no real reason, they went with the other person. And I was like, okay, I'm really bummed, but it's fine because I still have a job. And you know what? Only a few hours later, I no longer have that job. So with that being said, I'm taking this opportunity to pitch myself. If you are hiring in influencer marketing, content strategy, even social media strategy, I have over 6 years of experience working in a 9-to-5 role in both the fashion industry as well as beauty and wellness. And then I've been creating content on social media for over 10 years now. But I know so many people are dealing with this right now, so just know you are not alone, and happy Wednesday.
A lot of you are overestimating how safe your job is. If the last few years should have taught us anything, it's this. There is no such thing as a stable job.
Right.
Anytime I've done these videos in the past, people would jump in and say, that's not true. What about government jobs? Well, look where we are now.
Right.
If we have learned anything over the past few years, it's this. I don't care if you've been in the company for 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, even 30 years. You are still at risk of getting that email where they let you know that you are getting laid off. Companies have one goal right now, and it's simple. Get as much done as they can with the least amount of people. This means that if somebody goes to your CFO or one of the other executives and says, hey, I got a piece of technology that can literally replace people at your company for a fraction of the cost, the executive and the CFO is going to go, sign me up.
Right. And I think that's another good point too. If they can find technology or whatever to replace you and that could get more, they're going to do it. They're going to do it. And this is why I think people should pay more attention to what's happening and not just think that your job is so secure that it couldn't happen to you, because we're seeing now even the federal jobs are not protected. People are getting laid off from those jobs as well. So it's a shock to a lot of people's system because they didn't think that could happen, but it certainly is happening. So I think, it's important to pay attention to the way technology is going, new resources, new methods of how they're running things, because it can certainly replace you or affect you getting a job and maintaining that job. So this is why when I see people talking about a lifestyle, it's like mind-boggling to me that they don't realize what's coming down the pike. You know what I'm saying? Or what could potentially come down the pike. You know what I'm saying? Let's continue.
Is the goal right now. Cut costs at all costs. And the biggest cost for most companies isn't technology, it's actually people. If you're watching this video right now and thinking, well, that's not me, I'm comfortable, don't get too comfortable, because trust me, you never know when you're going to get laid off in 2025.
Right. Thanks.
Yes! Yes! I survived! Yes! Thank you.
Biggest layoff trend is there is no trend. Layoffs are not logical, they're chaotic. It doesn't matter if you're a high performer or you're doing everything right, or you've been with a company for 10 years and you've been loyal. Oftentimes, high performers get let go because they're getting paid too much. Those that do everything right, their entire divisions get let go. And sometimes you just get let go, even if you've been loyal to the company for years. Layoffs are not logical. They are not about performance. They are about cost-cutting optics and decisions from leadership that often don't make sense to you. There's no true way to layoff-proof your job. I've spoken with many individuals through my research, and one thing they always tell me is that they're always trying to do more, they're always trying to be better, and they're always worried that it's going to happen again. But rest assured, what you're doing has very little effect on if you're going to be laid off or not. Oftentimes, those decisions are out of your hands. Have you or someone you know been laid off recently? I would love to hear your story in the comments below.
Listen, and that is 100% a fact. And I don't know why, we often see women struggle with this, because for some reason they just thought that they had this job security, that it was just somewhere written in stone that they couldn't, because they have seniority and they've done such a great job and they've made a lot of money for this company, that they're beyond being laid off. And that is certainly not the truth. This is why we've seen a lot of individuals feel so comfortable, especially women, let's be honest, feel comfortable in their workplace because they think that they're secure. They think that they're, it's not going to happen to them. And now that it's happening, it's almost like a shock to their system. But this has been happening to men forever. They understand that these jobs are replaceable. They can replace you at any time. It doesn't matter how well you've done for the company. They can still up and replace you. The jobs could go out of business. It could be less demand. Things can happen. This is why it's important to understand that could happen and prepare for it. I think if most people would focus on preparing for it versus being delusional or not thinking that it could ever happen to them, is a better route to take. And I think maybe this would kind of, make people realize how severe this could be. And if you're not preparing and you're not thinking about that, that's why it's such a shock to a lot of women. They're like, wait a minute, what happened? I was doing such a great job. They told me I was doing so great, and then the next day they fired me. So yeah, there's no way to foolproof your job. These jobs are not set in stone. You could be let go at any time. I don't care how your performance levels are. It does not matter. And I think people are understanding that now. But let's continue.
Well, not how I wanted to start my 2025. I was just laid off. This is actually the first time I've ever been laid off, so I don't really know what to even do or how to process anything. I just dropped off my laptop. It sucks the most because I seriously was only at this company for 2 months. I literally got this job in October and loved every single second of it. Unfortunately, the company was acquired and a lot of us were let go. Nothing you can do about it, but it definitely sucks. I have no idea what I want to do. I don't know if I want to even keep working for a company or what. I got my real estate license back in early October. I'm like, maybe I should just pursue that. But I also really liked the idea of having like a stable income with a job. I'm also getting married this year and have lots of expenses. So yeah, I still know it's going to be a great year. Like, I'm truly trying to be positive. I know everything happens for a reason, but yeah, I guess we'll see what happens.
So
this is me, day one after getting laid off, and on to the newest, biggest things that are coming up. Huge moves are coming up, and I'm going to discover that, and I am committed to creating a new path for my career, for my family, for my relationship, for whatever is next. I'm committed to creating a world where I get to be in total control and in total power for where I want to be in life. And nobody has to tell me what to do, and I'm able to help and empower others to also use their voice, use their bodies, and be healthy and confident and joyful to empower more people themselves.
You know, and I think it's a bit, this is why I say entitlements, because the idea of being in total power and control, it doesn't exist, in my opinion. I don't think that you ever really have total control and total power over what happens and what occurs and what you do. You can have some, and I think that if you're running the show and you have your own business and you calling the shots, yeah, of course. But total power and control, I don't think that exists in humans, because anything could happen that would transform your business, even if you're running it. Anything could happen. If you have people working for you, those people could not be available. Those people could get sick, and then you don't have people to work for you. There's also something could happen to you that's out of your control, out of your power, that will yield you completely out of control, and your business could fail. There is nothing, I think, that us as human beings has full control and power over. And I think that's something we really have to take into consideration and realize we really don't. And as much as people want to have all this power and control, at the end of the day, there are certain things that you just cannot control that will affect your overall livelihood, your business, and everything else. So I think we got to be careful with the words we use. And I think this is why a lot of women were shocked once again, because it's like, no, you have no power. You have no control. You may think you do. You may feel like you do, but you really don't. And you really don't. And I think that applies to everything in life. You have no full control and power over anything. But let's continue.
And so here we are, on our way to the next thing.
I worked for the US government for a single day. As a bit of a backstory, I had my initial interview in November. I got the initial job offer in December, and it took 2 months to get all of my background checks, my security clearance, all of my paperwork submitted. So my first day was not until the end of January. Coincidentally, my first day was also exactly a week following the inauguration of our lovely president. When I first accepted the job offer, I accepted it under the guise that working for the federal government was going to be a good thing in the long run. I was under the assumption that working for the federal government, you would get a good retirement package, you would be able to get good health insurance, you would have fairly regular job stability, and that entire illusion for me was destroyed within the first week of the Trump administration. My position was technically covered by a union, but because you are in a probationary period for the first year of employment, they wouldn't be able to cover me if I got fired for any reason. And I was already starting to watch people that had worked for the federal government for 20, 30, 40, 50 years getting fired. My final straw really was when I saw that the Trump administration had requested a list of every single federal employee that was currently in the probationary period. And at that point I told myself, I'm not going to commit to a job where I am afraid of being laid off or fired on day one. On another note, my school life, my personal life.
Okay, this is definitely not the typical stuff I post on this account because TikTok's just fun for me. I don't really discuss my job on here, but I do mortgages for a living, and I watch the market like a hawk. I have a background in economics, so getting to read this stuff and apply it to my job now is kind of fun that I actually get to use my degree. But anyway, so there was some new data that came out today, and I want to get TikTok's opinion on it. So 2 reports came out today, initial jobless claims and the Challenger job cut report. So the Challenger job cut report goes over corporate layoffs. Within February alone, over 170,000 corporate layoffs occurred. That is the largest number since July of 2020 and the largest February since 2009. Here's where it gets interesting. So, largest in over almost 5 years, July 2020. But initial jobless claims decreased, meaning less people filed for unemployment. Now, people who are in this industry would know that this hurts the interest rate market. When they are saying that, the economy's great, everybody, apparently nobody needs unemployment, even though they've just lost their job, all this stuff, it makes interest rates higher. The math's not massive.
Do y'all get what she's saying? I think I kind of get what she's saying. There was over 170,000 corporate layoffs in February of 2025, yet the unemployment claims, they're lower. So that means even though all these people lost their jobs, you would think that the unemployment rates would go up. What do y'all think about that? What she's saying, the math is a math thing. It's not adding up. I don't know are they counting those jobs or they're just not reporting it? Y'all let me know what y'all think about that, but let's continue.
You're telling me almost 200,000 people lost their job last month and less people than the month before filed claims?
Or maybe they didn't file claims. Maybe they just didn't file claims. I don't know. Or either they didn't file claims or they're not reporting the claims because they don't want the unemployment rates to look as high as they actually are. Who knows? I don't know. Y'all let me know. Maybe they're just not reporting it. Let's continue.
Sad to say, your role has been eliminated and your last day will be April 11th.
Okay. Well, I am sad to hear that. It's been a pleasure working with you guys. I definitely learned a lot. I'm sad to hear that, though.
I know. This is something I've been hoping that our team, since we're so small, that we could avoid. But leadership has just been pushing on this and kind of forced us into this action here.
Okay.
It's nothing personal. Everyone likes you. You're always friendly. You've got a good attitude. But at the end of the day, it's tough. I didn't expect this. When we offered you the role, had no idea how things would kind of turn with the new CEO, new CIO.
My question is this: how do you feel comfortable recording this? Like, I understand it's heartbreaking or whatever. But why would you record your conversation? What if they see this and people might not want to hire you because it is? I'm just saying, like, why would you record that? I think they're in so much awe and disbelief they had to pull out the cameras to record. You couldn't believe or fathom. Damn, they will fire me. Why not just move on? If it was me, I get it. I'm sad about it, but guess what? I'm about to go start looking for some other kind of jobs because you need money coming in. So I wouldn't be sitting here recording. I'm gonna be out trying to hustle and find another job to get some type of income coming in, because some income is better than nothing. Even if it doesn't pay what you were making before, it's better to have something coming in than nothing. So that's where my focus would be. But I don't know. They're trying to grasp and grapple with the idea that they've been laid off instead of just moving on. They're not going to rehire you. Let's continue.
And of course, new administration making changes, and then it's pretty shocking.
Yeah.
Take some time. Hope that you just continue to do what you're doing and keep working for the next couple of weeks and end on a good note. And we can be references for you. Wish you the best. And if there's anything either of us can do, let us know.
Okay, I will for sure. Like I said, it's been a pleasure working with you guys, and thanks for the feedback and things like that. If I have any questions, I'll definitely reach out to you guys.
Okay, thanks, Sierra. Feel free to take a little time or long lunch, whatever. Just think things over.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Sorry, bye.
So here we are. Day 9 into 2025, and I got laid off today. So getting laid off was obviously not in my cards for 2025 or any time in the near future. I've been with my company for almost 6 years. It would have been 6 years in March. So to say that I'm heartbroken is such an understatement. I have 3 kids. I don't know what the future looks like for us. I've never been laid off before, so this is really, really hard for me. I'm not a crier, but I've always left a job on my own terms, and I actually left my last job to start up, like get the company that I worked with recently, like off the ground and running. They were already like pretty established, but we were really, really, really small when we started, and you know, just over the years we grew, and you know, they became really successful, so I'm happy for their success, but I'm just at a loss for words. Like, I just don't know where to go from here. I don't know how to like cope with like the grief. I have to drop my laptop off by Monday, and I'm just trusting God that, you know, He's gonna see my husband and I through this, and I know He's faithful to provide. And I know another opportunity is gonna come. It's just really hard for me, and yeah, I don't know. Just pray for us, pray for my family, pray for my kids, and also pray for all the other employees that are gonna be affected by this.
Y'all, I just left another job interview. Oh my gosh. I've been unemployed since January 22nd, and I tell you, this has been the most humbling yet mind F I've ever in my life experienced. I have so much to say, so many thoughts, so many feelings about everything. Like, my brain literally, like, it just is so scattered right now. Thank God I do have an opportunity on the table. But when I tell you I've never worked for healthcare before, if any of y'all have ever worked in healthcare, I don't know how y'all been out here living it.
Listen, I want to know y'all thoughts on all of this, because once again, it's interesting to see how women handle these types of adversities. You know, I think this should be a lesson for women to understand what men go through, and for women to understand why most men don't spend the way women do. Men are more likely, I'll say, to preserve their resources, to not spend as much on stuff versus women. Women make money and they just want to spend it. They don't care. They're making good money. They're doing well. We're going to spend it. We're going to get what we want. And we want you to do the same. But they don't think or consider these types of things happening. You don't consider that you might get laid off. That job might go out of business. You may not have that income coming in for quite some time. So you're going to have to scale back a bit. That lifestyle is going to have to be put on hold, because you're going to have to make sure that you have a roof over your head and the things that really matter. We got a lot of boss chicks out there who move accordingly, and they move like with this boss chick status and stuff. That means they spend a lot of money on everything. Is that going to change looking at the state of where we are as it relates to jobs being lost and all of this? Is that going to change their mentality? Do y'all think that this is going to change the way women move, how they think? Are they going to be more frugal with their resources? Or are they going to be forced to be more frugal because you just can't afford to live that lifestyle the way you once did? Is it going to force them? Or do you think they'll start to change their mentality and think differently when it comes to how they spend their money and where they put their resources, and working together, especially for women who don't have a spouse? Are they looking to understand the importance of having somebody and you guys budgeting your income together, which will more than likely help you get a little bit further? You know what I mean? Especially in hard times. So that's my angle on this, y'all. I want to know your thoughts on this particular video. Chime in the comments below. I definitely want to hear what you have to say. Let me know, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.